Recently, you talked about how people can do a credit limit migration. First off, break down what that is. And essentially, you said that people can do this with Chase Bank. Okay. And I think a lot of
Right.
people not only use Chase Bank, but they don't know about this. Can you explain how you can do this with Chase Bank?
Yeah, so pretty much a credit limit migration is when you transfer some or all of your credit limit onto another Chase credit card that you guys have. And typically you have to have like two credit cards to do this because obviously you need, another credit card under your belt to transfer a limit to or from. But
Right.
you can actually do this on the personal side and the business side as well. But what a
Mhm.
lot of people don't know is
Hey, what's going on, guys? Calvin Russell here, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit. Listen, I got yet again another special guest that's going to be in the building. Listen, it's been a while since he's been on the channel, and you guys have been telling us to bring him back. Okay, he's going to be dropping some gems on various banks, talking about a few credit unions and things of that sort. So, listen, you most definitely want to get your notepads out. He does not have a lot of time, so let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Just Money Ish. Ish, how are you doing today, sir?
doing good. Thanks for having me again. What's going on, guys?
All right. Awesome. Awesome, man. Awesome. So listen, man, first I want to say thank you for obviously squeezing out some time of your schedule. We've been trying to put this together for about a month now, man. So I greatly appreciate you having the time today, man.
Yeah, thanks for
All
having me.
right, awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and go into a few things. Obviously, people know, and for those who don't know, he has a YouTube channel. He talks about a lot of these things all the time, but I have specific things that I want to go ahead and discuss with him. And recently, you talked about how people can do a credit limit migration. First off, break down what that is. And essentially, you said that people can do this with Chase Bank. Okay. And I think a lot of
Right.
people not only use Chase Bank, but they don't know about this. Can you explain how you can do this with Chase Bank?
Yeah, so what a credit limit migration is, that's when you transfer all or some of your credit limit onto another credit card you may have with Chase. And then you could actually do this you can only do this from personal to personal and business to business. Like some people think you can only so some people want to do it from personal to business or business to personal, but that's not the case
Okay.
scenario. Chase won't allow this. But the good thing about it that Chase does allow is that you can pretty much do this anytime you want. You
Mm.
don't have to be banking with them for a while. As long as you already have two credit cards with Chase Bank, you can do this already. And then another thing I did want to mention because their sign up bonuses.
Yeah, I've been
Like
seeing
if
that. Okay.
yeah, if you wanted to do like a credit limit migration, and then let's say you wanted to transfer your entire limit from one credit card and then close that credit card because you can't do that. Like you can't abuse the sign up bonuses, right? You can't abuse the sign up bonuses, and what I mean by that is like you have to wait 2 years. Like for the Chase Freedom Unlimited credit card or the Chase Freedom Flex credit card and stuff like that, you have to wait 2 years if you want to get the sign up bonus again, where it comes to like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card. If I'm not mistaken, like it changes from time to time, but that might be like 60,000 like reward points or whatever. Like for the Sapphire credit cards, like you have to wait 4 years in order to get that sign up bonus again. So. And then this is another thing too. Like if you're gonna do a credit limit migration from a Chase credit card onto another Chase credit card,
Yeah.
you have to leave at least a $500 credit limit on there. But if you currently have
Mm.
debt on that card, then you have to leave at least $1,000 credit limit on that card. And then the same thing is going to go for the business credit cards as well.
If you're looking to get funding for your business with no minimum credit score required, this includes term loans, equipment financing, even fix and flip loans as well. To learn more, scan this QR code or click the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Gotcha. Okay. Now let me ask you this, and thanks for breaking that down for us as well. So you're able to essentially take one credit limit and then move it over to another credit card. Now, do you have to have a certain credit score at the time, or does it matter because now you just have the cards in general?
Now you don't have to have a certain credit score in order to do it. And the thing that's good about it is, they don't pull credit for it. They don't track credit for it. You
Wow.
just pretty much have to have the credit cards. That's it.
Gotcha.
And then like
Wow.
a thing that's good about it is because like I said, they allow this on the business side. So like a thing that's good about it, like let's say you're taking advantage of like a 0% offer for your business, right? So that way you can like scale it or whatever. If you already have a Chase Inc. business credit card, the ones that offer like a 0% interest APR for like I believe 12 months on purchases. If you already have
Yeah.
one of those credit cards, you can, if you have two of them, you can close one of them and then transfer the credit limit, and then you can wait some time pass, and then you can utilize the 0% offer to scale your business again. So that way you don't have to pay no interest for a while.
Wow. Wow. Then he okay, that's amazing. Okay. And so that's good for businesses as well too. So that man, that's some good information to know because a lot of people, man, they are with Chase Bank, but they're not maximizing, that relationship, with Chase Bank. And this is most definitely something that a lot of people have been talking about. So I want to make sure we brought you on to talk about that, as well. Now, outside of Chase Bank, as we know, people's, favorite credit union, the Credit Union of America, the house of high limits, right? Navy Federal. You've been talking about Navy Federal for years.
Right.
So and this is something that I want to see if this still is the case in 2025. How to pay credit card debt fast with Navy Federal. What's your strategy to get rid of that credit card debt using Navy Federal?
Yeah, so there's a few things you can do with Navy Federal. This is why I love Navy Federal because the possibilities are pretty much endless with them. They did
Yeah.
have an offer a while ago, and that was only limited time, by the way. But it was for the Platinum
Mm.
card, the More Rewards card, and the Cash Rewards credit card. To where if you did a balance transfer, it'd be a 0% APR for 12 months. But that was only limited time. So now, as
Wow.
far as the credit cards, the best credit card on there to do a balance transfer to or from is the Platinum credit card because at the time of this recording, that's at a 0.99%. If you have a big balance on another credit card, then you can just transfer the limit onto there. But another way you
Mm.
can pay debt with Navy Federal is using a personal loan. And then like the thing about Navy Federal too is they make it really easy to get approved
Yeah,
for a personal loan with them. Like
they do.
as long as like 'cause I've seen people in the 600s get approved for a personal loan for a pretty decent limit too. And you can utilize that to pay off debt because most people's debt comes from credit cards. That's what I see, time and time again. Even the clients that I
Yep.
have or work with, they have a bunch of credit card debt. And
Yep.
strategy that they can do that, it works for them is getting a personal loan from Navy Federal. You can't do the debt consolidation loan too, because that definitely does work. So really either or. I think all that matters is that you build a relationship with Navy Federal for
Yeah.
at least like 3 months or so. Yeah, build a relationship with them. And then another big thing was putting like 2 years on the application. Because they
Okay.
want to see you've been at your job for a while or you have consistent income coming in. Because if they don't see that, then it's just kind of like,
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And see, that's another thing too. Now, when you say build a relationship with Navy Federal, a lot of people talk about different strategies and things of that sort. What are some basic things that people could do to start building that relationship with Navy Federal?
yeah. So the easiest thing you can do, and this is gonna go for any credit union out there, or really any bank
Good.
out there, if you want to build a relationship with them,
Yeah.
is set up the direct deposit because that right there in itself is huge because the banks want to know that you're in it for the long run. You're not here just to like
Hmm.
freeload and stuff. Because like, what does that look like when you're applying for something? Okay, does this guy have a direct deposit? Is he banking with us? Are there any transactions? We got no history with this guy at all. Like at least if you have a direct deposit, it's like okay, we got reoccurring stuff happening every month or weekly or biweekly or however
Yeah.
often you get paid. So I would say a direct deposit. And then as far as like for credit unions, I would say like saving secure loans because a lot of these credit unions offer like something like a pledge loan. Like I know PenFed, they call it like a share loan, and then
Mhm.
a lot of these other credit unions out there, they definitely have savings secured loans. I don't really see this too often with like big traditional banks out there. It's more so a credit union thing, but that's what I would
Mm.
get. Because, if you don't have like a good credit score or whatever, or if you're looking to boost your credit, I guess per se,
Yeah.
then you need both revolving and installment credit on your account. So that's why I say get a savings secure loan because one, you're getting an installment credit on your credit profile, so that way you have a better credit mix, whatever, boost your credit score, and then at the same time too, you're building a relationship with the credit union.
Real quick, be sure to download our free ebook today. All you got to do is scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Yeah, awesome. Now, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that as well too because you can do this. For everyone that's watching this, you can do this with any credit union, any bank, and that's building a relationship in general. This is more than just getting a checking account or worse, just getting just a credit card. Again, for those of you all who are just watching our videos, this is the type of stuff that we talk about all the time, and that is how to do it the right way. Banks want you to use their products, especially if you plan on having multiple accounts with them and actually maximizing everything they have to have. So that's good information as well too. Now you also talked about that there was a way that you could actually get 4 credit cards without having to get a hard inquiry, because of course a lot of times people, they want to try to push for getting, specific credit cards, but you mentioned there were four companies that are, essentially known for giving not just, decent high limits, but they don't necessarily do a soft, I'm sorry, they don't do a hard pull, they do a soft pull. What banks are those and how can you do that?
Yeah, so first, as of right now, at the time of this recording, it's only three banks now. Because the
Got
first
you.
one, here, I'll mention the first one. The first one was the GM Rewards credit card. And the good thing about
Okay.
that credit card is it offered you, a 0% APR on purchases for the first 9 months. So that was definitely a good credit card to get without a hard pull to your credit. But they're in the process of revamping the card right now. So if you wanted to, you can't even apply for the card right now because they're switching banks actually right now from Goldman Sachs to Barclays. So they're gonna get it back up and running. They say they got big things coming for the GM Rewards credit card right now, but
Wow.
they're saying it should be back up and running by the summertime. Like I would say mid June, probably like another month and a half ish. But
Yeah.
essentially, when it comes to the Apple credit card, when it comes to the upgrade credit card, when it comes, well, let's go over the Apple credit card first. So
Yeah.
for that credit card, everybody has been doing this hack for quite some time now. You can go to either your Apple phone, you go to the wallet app, and then you apply for the Apple credit card. Or if you wanted to apply online, because maybe you don't have an iPhone, because some people don't have an iPhone, then you can do
Yeah.
it online. But essentially, you would go to the app and then just pre-qualify for the card, and it tells you what your credit limit would be, and it tells you what your APR would be as well. And then as
Mm.
soon as you get, and they only do a soft pull up until that point. And then once you get that soft pull and you see what credit limit they're going to give you and what APR you're going to have, then you would go essentially freeze the credit bureaus. Now, some people only want to freeze TransUnion because all the credit cards that I'm mentioning right now, they pull from TransUnion. These are TransUnion pulls, and like
Mm.
the thing that it's kind of hard to get TransUnion pulls because there's a lot for sure for Experian. Like
Yeah.
most of these banks out there, they pull from Experian, and then Equifax would like be the second, but TransUnion, that's the hard one to come by. But yeah, all these credit cards, they pull from TransUnion, and then essentially what you would do is you want to freeze all the bureaus. You just don't want to freeze TransUnion because like a lot of the time what these banks tend to do, if they can't pull from TransUnion, then they're gonna go for another credit
That's
bureau.
right.
Yeah, and
That's right.
I've seen it before, and like some people think, oh, just like freeze only TransUnion, you're good with that. And
Yeah.
if they want to do that, that's fine. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna risk anything. But that's essentially what you would do, and then this you could do this same thing for the upgrade credit card. But pretty much after you freeze the bureaus, then you go back and apply. I mean, you go back and accept the credit card,
Yeah.
and then you would have the credit card without hard inquiry to your credit profile. Now I would wait like anywhere from like a week or 2 weeks before you unfreeze the bureaus because sometimes they like to come back. I
Wow.
would say like after a week though, after about 10 days, you're good though. Upgrade credit card. That credit card is a hybrid credit card, so it's kind of like a mix between a credit card and a personal line of credit. The good thing about that credit card is one, it goes all the way to $25,000 of limit, and then two, it doesn't report to your credit utilization because it reports as a personal line of credit. So that's kind of installment loan. I don't know when it comes to that credit card, it's kind of weird, but yeah, it does report as a personal line of credit. And then the other one is the World of Westgate Mastercard. So that's a resort credit card, and I believe they have the resort in Vegas, they have it in New York. But yeah, that's a resort credit card, and the no inquiry play works for that one too.
Wow.
And I've seen
Okay.
I've seen people get approved for that card for like pretty decent limits, like $9,000, $10,000 limits. I've seen a lot of people actually do this play. And when I first found out about it, I'm just
Yeah.
like, dang, I'm like, that play's working. That's the play that's
Absolutely.
working right now.
Man, that's good information to know, man. Because listen, you've been studying these credit cards and credit unions, for years. Let's talk about ish behind the scenes. Like, how did you find yourself even getting into this space? Talking about credit cards and credit unions and such. What made you want to do this?
Well, it all started when I was working on getting licensed as a real estate agent. That's where it really,
Mm.
really started because I started the YouTube
Gotcha.
channel. Because, like, I mean, you're in real estate, so you have to obviously find your own leads, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, what makes you different from another real estate agent? Because
Okay.
like the real estate life is like so glamorized on the internet, and
Yeah.
you see them living like lavish lifestyles. But what a lot of people don't know is like, not everybody's selling homes. Not
They
everybody's selling
not.
homes, and it's
They
hard.
just they just love taking photo shoots.
Yeah, most people don't even sell their first home to like the first or after the first year. So,
Mm.
you have to provide your own leads, whether, you're knocking on doors. And I used to door knock. I
Wow.
absolutely hated door knocking, but you got to do what it takes or whatever.
Got to. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I started the real estate career, and I was like, I wanted to start the YouTube channel to differentiate myself between other real estate agents. I started the channel even before I got licensed. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I started the channel maybe 6 months before getting licensed. So I was working on getting my real estate license, and then I was like, all right, like I had a game plan set up. I'm gonna start the YouTube channel, whatever.
Yeah.
Try, post real estate content, credit content, just anything to bring attention towards myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got licensed, and then I started making videos, and at the same time, I started banking with Navy Fed, and I'm getting proof for this, that, and the third, and then I also have a mentor too, so I'm just getting drowned with like so much information,
Yeah.
like in a specific period of time. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just share what I know, I guess, with the world, and I don't know, it just started picking up, man. It just started picking up. I had one video that took off, I guess. It's like actually the most viewed video on my channel where I talk. I think it's like 5 things Nate Federer won't tell you. I think that's what I talked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like my first video that took off because at the time, I think I was only at like 2,000 subscribers, and then I
Yeah.
told myself I was like, I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna post a video every week, et cetera, et cetera. And
Yeah.
that video took off, and that video alone got me to like from 2 to 10,000 subscribers. And then
Yeah.
I seen the momentum, so I rode the momentum, and I just kept building on top of that. And then
Absolutely.
that's how I got started in the YouTube space. But I've been making YouTube videos though. I've been doing this for like 10 years, but this channel
Wow.
specifically,
Yeah.
I've probably been on for like 4 or 5 years now.
Wow. Man, that's amazing. It's always great to hear the story behind the story, because a lot of times people they see us, on the videos and such, but they really want to know, like, man, how did this person get into the space and things of that sort? Because, like you said, as you learn, you want to be able to, teach others. And to be honest with you guys, again, getting into that real estate space, we just get reminded of how important credit is, and not just credit itself, but what you can do with credit and what we see people, they're buying property, they're selling property, they're investing, they're actually doing something with their scores. And so that's what this is all about. And that's what, man, thanks again for stopping by the channel and just dropping gems, giving people the information that they need to know. As you guys can see, I got his YouTube channel right here down at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Check everything out. This is what he talks about all the time, on YouTube. And is there anything else that you want to leave the audience before we get out of here today?
Just start building relationships with multiple credit unions. Start banking with different banks, so that way,
Yeah.
like, because there's a lot of people out there that want to start a business or whatever, which is cool. It's amazing. But start banking with these banks so that way you start building a relationship, because you just never know when you're gonna need this bank or this financial institution, because
That's
this
right.
bank might pull from this bureau or that credit union might pull from this bureau. And you just always want to have options in life. So I would say start banking with different banks. I bank with like quite a few banks. Like I would have never guessed this back then when I was younger, banking with this many banks, but it's essential.
Yeah.
It's essential. So that way, you just utilize all your options and take advantage of what's out there.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thanks again, man. We greatly appreciate you carving out the time again today. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out Ish's channel. And listen, when he comes to Chicago, we're gonna see if we can do some more collaborations here in the future. But thanks again, man. We greatly appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.